I think it's time to have a chat about the PlayStation VR2. Now, the PlayStation VR2 has been out for about 7-8 months by the time you're watching this video. I had it from launch, I got it on day one. And this video is sort of, it's not a review per se, it's more just me summarising what my experience has been like. I'm not going to go into all the details about tech specs and stuff like that because I've done a review of it and you can watch it wherever it is. But I do think it's important that I sort of share my experience 8 months down the line or whenever you're watching this video. I am a big fan of the PlayStation VR2. I think it is a fantastic headset, and it is, as much as it is really good and it is amazing in a lot of regards, it's not perfect, and there are reasons for me to be slightly disappointed too. Now, I'll get onto what those reasons are a little bit later, but first what I want to do is sort of explain to you guys why I bought a PSVR2 in the first place, what was sort of my thinking around it, and sort of what I was hoping for before I got involved. So first of all, I mean, I have a tech channel, that's sort of the main reason why I bought it, you could say, is to review and stuff on my channel, but there's a bunch of stuff that I can review and I chose to review that, so why? Ultimately, I am a massive fan of VR gaming. It was only recently I sort of got into it. I got a Quest 2 last year, and the standalone thing, it blew my mind. The fact that I didn't have to have anything else, I could just wear the headset and it just worked and you could play games. It literally was mind-blowing to me. And that sort of never really left me. Now, as much as a lot of the experiences on the Quest 2 are limited because of the fact that it's standalone and the power isn't as great, it's still a fantastic piece of kit. But when they announced the PlayStation VR2, oh, I was excited. In fact, I was so excited that I actually made sure I invested in a PS5 so that I could have the PS5 experience and the PlayStation VR2 experience as well. And I have to say, when it comes to what you actually get when you buy the PlayStation VR2, I am not disappointed in the slightest. The actual headset and the controllers are fantastic. When you're using a PlayStation 5 to power your VR headset, the experiences are just phenomenal, especially when you optimize them with things like foveated rendering. It is literally unbelievable how good that headset is. And one thing that I think a lot of people don't realise when they're thinking and when they're talking about it, and I just don't hear a lot of chat about it, is the fact that the PlayStation VR2 is OLED and it's HDR. That means the blacks are completely black, and then when something is very, very bright, it is very bright. And your eyes have to actually adjust to how bright something is and how dark it is. And this gives you a much more immersive experience like real life. You can't be sat in the real world in a dark room and then go outside on a sunny day and not sort of adjust your eyes. The same could be said if you're outside on a sunny day and you go into a house, it starts to look really dark, and actually it takes a little bit of time for your eyes to readjust. And that's what you want when you're wanting an immersive experience. Now, when I got the PlayStation VR2, it already sort of launched with 2 fantastic first-party games. This is another reason why I was very excited for the PlayStation VR2. Sony and PlayStation are fantastic for their exclusive games. When I actually got my PS5, that's the first thing I did, was I wanted to jump in all these games that I've been missing out on over all these years. And with the PlayStation VR2 coming, you just assume that you're going to be getting some exclusive experiences that no one else is going to get. And you do, to a degree. So Horizon Call of the Mountain is a really fun and beautiful, visually stunning virtual reality game. It isn't the perfect game, it can be a bit samey, honestly, but for the first step into VR for Sony, it was a very, very good effort. And also GTR 7 came with a VR port, and that by far is my favourite PlayStation VR2 game. To the level that I actually decided to get a steering wheel and a gear stick and pedals and a little stand to put it all on. But generally, it's a fantastic experience, and I want to get as many people having that experience as possible. That sort of goes into some of the limitations of the hardware, which I'm not particularly a fan of. Now, the Fresnel lenses are probably some of the worst Fresnel lenses I've seen when it comes to the sweet spot. This headset has a very small area where the visuals are clear. And if you don't put on your headset properly, or you're moving around a lot and the headset shifts, suddenly what you're seeing isn't quite as clear and you're finding yourself having to readjust it quite a bit. It's a remarkable difference to the Quest 2, and then I used to have a Pico 4 as well. That was my sort of second headset that I wanted to have a look at and see if I enjoyed it. That had pancake lenses, and pancake lenses, oh my word, if they put pancake lenses on this headset, it would be the best VR headset. And that is coming from someone who hasn't tried every single headset, so don't get too angry at me in the comments. But if this had bigger pancake lenses, the sweet spot would be a lot better. In fact, if this just had bigger lenses in general, it would be a better headset. But alas, we don't have that. I can get my head around all of these sort of minor things that are a bit frustrating. I think the Sense controllers are fantastic. I think all in all, other than the sort of sweet spot issue, things like Mura and stuff like that didn't really bother me. I got used to it very quickly. But yeah, all of those issues are sort of negligible to me. The only reason why I'm a little bit disappointed with the PlayStation VR2 is the lack of first-party games. Now, having those two very impressive titles at the start put me in such high hopes for more things. But since that, there's been sort of radio silence. Yeah, don't get me wrong, there've been loads of VR games brought to the PlayStation VR2, and maybe that is what Sony's plan was in the beginning. Start with some exclusives, get as many developers porting their games to this as possible to sort of build up a library, and then jumping in with more exclusives later on. And I really hope that that is the case. Sony can very easily put at ease my disappointment by announcing that they have an amazing VR mode or VR games coming out very soon. The dream is to be able to play as Atreus with a bow as you're following Kratos around. Imagine being in The Last of Us and you're in that sort of zombie apocalypse. You're not just playing these sort of Walking Dead games and Resident Evil, but you're actually in a PlayStation exclusive world, and in using the PlayStation IP like The Last of Us, where you've got the clickers and all the different sort of types of zombies from there. Plus you have the amazing graphics and stuff like that from this headset, the amazing OLED and the HDR colours, and everything just looks amazing. This could be the best virtual reality experience that is on offer, and it is very close to being that. In fact, a lot of the third-party games, the PlayStation VR2 version of them is the best version of them. Being able to use the haptics on the controllers and the adjustable triggers, all of that stuff is just a phenomenal experience. But the thing that the PS5 and the edge the PS5 has over the Xbox is its exclusive range. The reason why I don't have a Series X and I have a PS5 is because the PS5 has this massive library of PlayStation exclusives that I was excited to play. And the PSVR2, it just could have that. I understand that the market is a lot smaller than the market for the PS5. And I'm not asking for the same amount of PlayStation exclusive games, but just give us something. Come on, PlayStation. It's been 8 months. Now, if it gets to, I can't say a year because I think that's too soon. I don't think we'll get anything by February. But if it gets to 2 years and we don't have another PlayStation exclusive IP on the PlayStation VR2, at that point, I will declare it not a failure, but a disappointment. That's when this headset could have been something amazing and it's just not reached the expectation that I had for it. If in the next year they announce a major virtual reality game from their IP or even something brand new, Sony, please do that. You would save this aching heart. I think I can summarize this by saying the PlayStation VR2 is set up to be the greatest VR headset and VR experience on the market. But without more PlayStation exclusives, without an onboarding experience, it is just missing out on these things that could be easy wins. So if anyone from Sony is watching this, which I'm almost definitely sure you're not, but for the pretend people watching this video, make some games for this damn thing. Do it for me. Do it for us. Do it for the good of the world. And for all you know, this could be my favourite VR headset for the next 5 years if that happens. And next week when I get my Quest 3, maybe I won't be as impressed by it. But let's be honest, that looks like an absolute machine as well. So let's see what happens there. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Join the community and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Woo!